A person is considered obese if they have a body mass index of over 30. Approximately 3.4 million adults succumb to death every year as a result of being obese or overweight. To determine which countries are obese, we must first understand the obesity measuring metric, BMI, body mass index. To calculate it, you divide the person's weight in kilograms by the square of their height in meters. This method is often used in studies to estimate obesity rates in large groups of people because it is easy to calculate and non-invasive. In general, a healthy BMI is between 18.5 to 24.9. To be above or below is to be underweight or overweight, with obesity beginning at 30.0. However, BMI is not a perfect measure. One major drawback is that it cannot tell the difference between muscle and fat. That means a very muscular person might be classified as overweight according to their BMI, even if they're actually in great physical shape. Also, BMI doesn't take equal into account where body fat is located, which can influence health risks. Despite these limitations, BMI is still useful as a general guide to assess weight at the population level. It is a tool that scales well for large groups, making it practical for studies. Number 1. Tonga, with a BMI rate of 77.1. Number 2. Tuvalu, with a BMI rate of 62.2. Number 3. Nauru, with a BMI rate of 58.1. Number 4. Samoa, with a BMI rate of 55.8. Number 5. Kiribati, with a BMI rate of 45.6. Number 6. Saint Kitts and Nevis, with a BMI rate of 45. Number 7. Marshall Islands, with a BMI rate of 44.1. Number 8. Kuwait, with a BMI rate of 43.75. Number 9. Bahamas, with a BMI rate of 43.7. Number 10. Antigua and Barbuda, with a BMI rate of 43.1. Number 11. United States, with a BMI rate of 42.7. Number 12. Libya, with a BMI rate of 42.4. Number 13. Qatar, with a BMI rate of 41.4. Number 14. Palau, with a BMI rate of 38. The most obese countries in the world are not necessarily the richest or the most developed ones. Countries with smaller economies such as Nauru, Palau, Samoa, Tuvalu, and Tonga have made it to the top 5. As per the World Health Organization, food scarcity and its rising prices are also responsible for obesity in underdeveloped or developing nations where the public finds it difficult to eat a balanced, healthy diet. For these people, the option is filling up on empty calories with junk or fried food. Topping the list of the world's most obese countries are small Pacific island nations such as Nauru, Palau, and Tuvalu. Approximately half of the population of these countries is obese. The reason is that almost all the food consumed in these island nations is imported and therefore expensive. Most of the imports that they received from the West centered around heavily fatted foods, mutton flaps, which are considered unfit for consumption in countries like New Zealand. Unfortunately, it is possible that genetics play a hand in rapid weight gain combined with this relatively novel diet. Food shortages in past centuries tend to result in a population that can make the most of every calorie, so when extreme shifts like overabundance occur, the result can be dramatic. And there you have it, the world ranked based on the size of its citizens. If you found this video informative, hit the like button and subscribe for more educational content and fun facts.